Hey folks, welcome back. It's November 30th, 2025. Kind of cold out. I think we got about low 40s today. Probably gonna freeze a little bit tonight. But today I wanted to do a garden tour because I've typically done these at the end of each month. And I kind of want to keep them going that way because it's given me a nice thing to look back on and see the progression of the garden. Maybe even what I had in the garden at certain beds, because I don't really keep records, and I should, and maybe I will one day, but probably not. Yeah, so let's walk through bed to bed and do a quick overview of what's going on right now. We had a 21 degree morning a couple mornings ago. Didn't kill as much as I thought it was going to truly kill. I got a lot out of the ground, but everything's looking a little bit worse for the wear from that one. And odds are nothing's going to bounce back really strong because we're not going to have an abundance of nice weather following that. We've got a full 10 days where every night's probably 30, every day is probably 45 to 50. So we'll see how it comes back. But again, it's the time of year right now where I'm not worried about seeing massive lush growth because it's just not realistically going to happen. So whatever we get out of this point is just kind of icing on top of the cake. Entering through the garden gate, we've got our 5 beds of garlic. Happy with the germination. The plants are going to be just fine through the winter months. I think this year, as I see coming into the spring, as things in these beds start looking a little like they're not going to really do much at all, I may pull plants and just compost those that really aren't going to finish into nice, reasonable sized bulbs, because I just don't want to have the hassle of them sitting in the barn trying to peel tiny little cloves of garlic. It's more hassle than it's worth. So I think I might be a little more precise in how I manage this crop going forward. But I am still eating off the garlic that I took out of the ground last June 1st, 2025. And that is now 6 months old. And I am seeing some mite damage on that stuff, which I was expecting. I didn't treat that crop the way I treated this one in trying to kind of fix my seed stock. We'll see how it comes out. I think it's going to be okay. I hope it's going to be okay. First bed, you can see at the back of the bed there, I harvested some of the daikons out of here. I pulled a lot of the roots out of the ground and got them in the barn down there for storage. I did that last year, and they should hold up pretty well through that process. Got some more daikons in here, some mustard in here. I just don't think there's a lot of edible greens in there still. I don't think it's gonna push that much more out at this point, and they'll eventually get killed by some frost coming up or some heavy freezes. Broccoli, it's holding up okay. The leaves are still nice and thick. I got some side shoot action here that I can eat from. I find that one of my favorite greens combination right now in my breakfast has been about a half a pound of broccoli and about a half a pound of Swiss chard in the Instant Pot. Pressure steam it for a minute or less, so it comes under pressure. Let it sit for no more than a minute. Do a quick release, take it out, toss it with some soy sauce. Amazing. We got our pathway brassicas and greens and mustards and whatnot. And okay, so here's a good example. You see this? He got hit pretty good from that freeze. His friend right next door on the same plant didn't. There's edible food on that. Some of it's appetizing, some of it's less so. But that's what freezes do. I've got beets under here. It's the only bed of beets I left. I took the rest of them out and put them into storage. I got a full bed of beet greens in storage as well. Yeah, I'm happy with how those came out of the ground. I wanted to leave one in there to see how well they'll do over the next couple of months in the ground, because I'd rather be able to do that and still harvest than have to store them in the barn. So it's kind of an experiment. I may experiment with the daikons the same way because there's not that many of them in that bed, and most of them are in the barn. So if I lose those to a freeze and defrost and they kind of just dissolve and melt, it's fine for the soil, and I've got plenty in reserve, and I learned a lesson. These 2 beds had, I think that was a daikon and a beet. They're obviously harvested now. Pathway cilantro, sugar snap peas I've got to get out of there. Another daikon bed that is now harvested. This is these are the remainder sweet peppers. They died a while ago in the first freeze that we had through the jungle of cilantro and mustards. Brussels sprouts, these really aren't doing anything. This is, you know what, I take that back. I do see some sprouts in there. I've never successfully grown Brussels sprouts before, so this is kind of fun. This is Long Island Improved. I think that's the variety. It's one of the only few open pollinated heirloom varieties you can find on the market. That and Catskill are the two I'm aware of. There might be one more that may be red in color. I got these in the ground at a reasonable time this year. At the same time I got the broccoli in. I really thought that they were going to be a little further than this along at this point, but they're not. And we'll see if we actually get any food off of them in the end. All of that self-seeded mustard. Yeah, is what it is. Gotta get some compost on this bed. Asparagus, we're gonna chop that back. I was thinking about doing that the other day, but I still see some green in there. I don't know how much it's photosynthesizing at this point, but what I'll do is I'll probably cut that down to about an inch above the ground. I'll string the side of the bed just to kind of frame it out, dump fresh compost on there and let it ride until the spring. It'll break dormancy, and I don't think I'm going to eat any asparagus this year again. I think I'm waiting to 2027 because that was started from seed in 2024. So 2024, 5 and 6, 3 years to really build some kind of a root system in there and then start eating in 2027. Don't hold me to that. I may get impatient, but I'm usually pretty good about holding back. Blackberries are doing, they're going to go to sleep for the winter and then they'll come back with a vengeance come spring, so I'm not worried about them. Blueberries, this one here seems to be the one that I've got that's pushing out the most new growth. A couple new canes on that one. Pink lemonade's not doing anything. I haven't pulled it out of the ground yet. What variety is this one? This is Ochlockoney. Okay. So I'm trying to see which varieties I might want to carry going forward if I want to get more added to this this patch. These are all rabbit eye variety versus I think high bush or low bush are the other two kind of types, and I have 5 different varieties here. My little raised bed of different plants, lettuce and whatnots and mustards. Again, still some edible in there. I'll probably pull this out. This next year might be my first year where this is actually going to serve the purpose that I want it to, and that is for a more deeper tapping carrot. Danvers 126, it's kind of a half length is what I usually go with for these beds because these are kind of compost on top of native soil, so they're not really deep in loamy organic matter. It's probably, I could probably get, my trowel in about 3 or 4 inches, and then it really starts getting kind of gravelly and rough. I wanted that for parsnips or deeper tapping carrots. The Danvers is great through this, and I think like a Nantes might as well. Any kind of stout carrot would probably do okay. Greens, the turnips are gone. They're in the barn. Again, this was, I don't remember what was there now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, that was the watermelon radish. Got a lot of really good round roots in the barn from that one. Turnips were here as well. Lettuce, this has been going to the chickens. Greens, they're holding up okay through the cold. I'm still harvesting off that. Carrots, I pulled a couple of really nice carrots out of here the other day. This was the late summer sown bed. Again, it was supposed to be a full bed, and only the back half really did well. I was a little surprised by that because I treated the whole bed the same way. So why this one, the front half, performed so weak was kind of odd. I need to probably recompost this bed. I need to pull the okra out. That okra is a tough plant to get out of the ground because the roots are pretty intense, and when you try to pull on these, the skin falls off, so it's hard to get a grip. I can cut them off at the base, and I might do that and let them sit in the roots in the ground over winter, and then try to get a few of the roots out in the spring when it warms up a bit, only because the roots are kind of hard to it's always healthier to leave the roots in the ground, but it can be hard to plant when you're kind of running into roots when it comes time to transplant. Swiss chard is and some volunteer brassicas. They're doing nothing at this point. They got hit by the cold pretty well. That's my remainder of my carrots from the spring sowing. I'm still pulling from there. They look a little tough coming out of the ground, but for the most part they've been okay. You need to recompost the front half of this bed, and that's sort of what you're seeing from this point on, and why this looks a little more pristine, because I have been every day adding compost to a bed and wood chipping between the path, just to get this thing nice and tidy before the spring comes. Coming around the way, I have not taken a lot of these bolted brassicas out. This is a pathway bok choy that just volunteered, because up until that freeze a couple mornings ago, there were still pollinators here. Again, more beds that just, I'm making these beds as the time goes along. But this is where it's going to stop, because I don't have a good way to add compost to these beds, and I don't want to really wood chip the pathways again, because I don't want all that wood chip to spill into the beds. Not that it's going to harm the growth in any way, but it's just not something I necessarily want to have to rake back out of the beds, because when all these strawberry plants come out of the ground, all but 2 beds are going to come out in probably early June, late May of next year, after the harvest is done. And the beds that come out, I'll kind of rake them clean and do that to these to get them kind of nice and prettied up. And refresh the compost, refresh the soil, make sure that whatever I put in there after that is in a better chance to succeed, just because the soil will be better fed at that point. And then this is kind of my method for making a bed. I have this string. It's attached to landscape staples, and I just string down stick, dump I think 8 5-gallon buckets worth of compost on each bed, and then I'll just move the strings on down. I'll string out this bed, compost it, pull the strings, and that'll leave me with a nice clean path to put the wood chips in. And then I'll do this bed and this bed and this bed, and so on and so forth. I got a few more asparagus over here. I'll chop them back when I chop the other ones back. There's gaps in this because I did put, I think, 12 or 13 plants, and some just didn't take. So I think I'll still leave the asparagus as such. Will I stick more asparagus in between them over time? I don't think I'm going to necessarily do that. If the crowns grow over time and take more space up, that's one thing. But I think I'll just use the space in the bed in between for just other sowings. Maybe, a broccoli plant here and there. This was where my tomato and basil trellis was. That's gone now. I took it out yesterday. It's sitting over there now. And I think what I'll do for this area, this was originally the raspberry patch, but then those raspberry crowns I had actually produced no fruit or flowers. I still want it to be raspberries because I love the idea of having this sort of raspberry row, berry row, starting with the blackberries and the blueberries and the raspberries. Then we've got figs and the aronia and the elderberries leading into the blackberries up there. I kind of want to keep that motif going. So I really should have gotten some raspberry plants this past fall, but I guess I'll just pick them up in the spring. I should add some more compost in this area. This is my dormant fig that I have down here. I've got a lot more figs around the area. This is Celeste. I've transplanted this one from a cutting that I did either early in the spring or late fall last year. When it went in the ground, it was only about yay tall, like with one leaf. And this is what a season full of growth had. I was really happy with the production of the plant, the growth of the plant. Didn't produce any figs. I wasn't expecting it to first year. It'll probably throw a couple next year, not too many. The following year, it's really going to take off. It's really a matter right now of what kind of form I want to put this one in. Whether I want to go with a single stalk up, which would probably be this one, or if I leave 2, because this is a nice heavy one. Typically, from the top down, you might see people try to go with 3, almost like a peace sign, with 1, 2, 3 main branches, and then scaffolding branches in 3s as well off of those, with no inward-facing branches. But I haven't quite decided yet what I'm going to do. My 3 aronia bushes, I cleaned all this area up of all the Bermuda grass. I really can't get a lot of that stuff out because a lot of the root of the Bermuda grass is stuck in the crown of the plant. So a little aggravating because I know it's going to be something that's going to keep happening every year, but that was my planting mistake, and now I've got to live with it. My elderberries, funny, there was a late flowering up there that seems to have fruited out. Kind of surprised that happened. It's interesting to see 2 different varieties, Bob Gordon Wildwood Wildwood still has a few leaves left. There's still a bit of green and berries going on. This one, Bob Gordon's definitely sleeping now. Then I've got this area right here between the elderberry and the blackberry start. Now, right in this area, in my last video on the blackberries, I put that crown that I ripped out of the ground from the other patch. I did stick it in there just to see if it will actually wake back up when it breaks dormancy. If it doesn't, I've got more room in here to work. If it does, I've got less room in here to work. I might not necessarily know what to do at that point as far as what I want to put there. But I wanted to put a gomi berry in there if I had if I found the plant available locally. And if not, I mean, I could keep pushing blackberries out that direction. But as you can see from, here and over there, I'm really not shy on blackberries, and I probably should start diversifying a little further than that.